Every day we do our PK. We check out if there's any new content on new content days. We set up all of our tactics. We get excited for new players, changing up player builds for new positions. It's all great. It's all tied to football, and Konami deserves credit for doing such a good job bringing the beautiful game into a football game. But then they also deserve some serious heat for the trash that they brought into the game, which then attracted the trash players. I'm talking all the non football nonsense. The whole defensive system is made for people who don't understand football defense, right? It's a total joke. The smart assist, all the other overpowered AI assistants, the essentially automatic goals, the scripted feel in a lot of situations. But at the end of the day, at the core of eFootball is a great football game. Anybody who has played PES in the past, when it was more what PES has always been about, when it was true to the football experience entirely, right? And the list goes on and on. But the core of eFootball still has that classic PES feel. That true to football experience is still there. They capture the magic, but they just have added a ton of trash on top of it that sort of camouflages and hides it. And the experience can be extremely frustrating. But these are the types of games that will keep you playing, will keep you fighting the good fight. So what you were watching is Phil, a longtime member of my community who I've coached for a while now and who is an absolute beast at eFootball. And he is the epitome of what a classic PES player represents, because he didn't play the game in real life, right? He is a fan of the sport, and through being a fan, he took the opportunity to play the game of football and eFootball and other football games as well. And that was his chance to play. So he learned everything from offsides to positions to all the players. Well, like, he knew some from being a fan, but obviously not as in depth, and especially not as in depth tactically. Some of the stuff that we all take for granted just because we played the sport. He did all that just from loving the beautiful game, and he's become a heck of a player, as you see an incredible goal there. And this opponent represents everything wrong with current eFootball. He is a player that both myself and Phil and others have played, and every time he takes every shortcut, spams everything you can spam, and typically speaking, he will magically get a terrible connection where he's making all these quick passes, no rhyme or reason, just simply trying to move the ball knowing that you can't move. It's something you see a lot in FC with their terrible servers, not as much in eFootball, but long and behold, Phil catches him in a game where he can actually move. And wouldn't you know, skill prevails. So these are the types of games that you watch. You see the beautiful football that can be played, and you see the skilled player being rewarded. And that shows you what the game can be and should be about. And that is the biggest problem that you see across the board in eFootball, and that is no doubt why Konami has added a lot of this stuff, because they recognize what the player base overall wants, which is help, assistance, shortcuts, just anything that will help them compete because they don't have the skill to do it themselves, which is absolutely pointless. When you play a football game or any competitive game, any competition, even if it's not on the sticks, the point is to compete and see who is better. So if AI or any outside influence is playing a part, then you're not really competing at all. So when you hear me say the term loser a lot, or rat loser, I'm saying it because that is truly what these shortcut takers, essentially cheaters, that is what they are. So let's look at real life sports. Steroid abusers, right? They are typically banned, sometimes for life, and they are hated amongst all sports fans and other pro athletes because they took a shortcut. They didn't put in the work because they were too lazy, and they cheated. So how come in eFootball, especially in other games too, but eFootball has went crazy with the AI assistants, how come somebody that is using outside influence because they're too lazy to put in the work, like someone like Phil did, right? Again, not even just learning the game, but learning football as well, right? He didn't know the game and just have to learn how eFootball worked. He had to learn the entire sport. but as a true fan, as a true competitor, he put in the work. That is what you're supposed to do. So as you can see in this game, Phil is absolutely dominating because he has skill. He knows how to play football. He doesn't need the connection to be bad to delay the opponent's movement. He doesn't need AI to do everything for him. He has skill because he put in the work to get better at the game. So he doesn't need to only pass to the wing to then force in a diagonal through ball, knowing that maybe if 50 of them are bad, the 51st might go in and he might win 1-0 because he parks the bus and just clears it and his opponent can't score because he's doing that. Or he just gets the ball to the wing and blindly crosses it, knowing that at least a couple will go in just because Konami, right? He doesn't do that because it would be pointless. Like, he could do it right here. He could force in a cross, hull it, might just have buried it because of how crosses work. However, Phil isn't thinking like that. He is thinking, let's play football the way it's supposed to be played, because it would be pointless if he won and didn't do that. That's how a winner thinks, and it's much more rewarding that way too. So we can't make these losers have a different mentality, and unfortunately we can't make Konami stop catering to these losers. The only thing we as true footballers can do is exactly what Phil's doing, which is a huge inspiration for me. I was about done with this game just because just about every opponent you face is like this opponent here. And many times they will get the advantage of a bad connection, or they'll get the advantage of scripting or automatic through balls. Your defense just lets through automatic crosses. Your defender magically doesn't go up and compete for. Just all the nonsense, right? There's certain players that just go for that. You face them game after game, it becomes pointless. The one thing that keeps me going is that at its core, only eFootball captures the essence of the beautiful game. FC is a glorified air/ice hockey game that looks like football, right? UFL isn't even worth mentioning because it's so far gone from being a football game. eFootball is the only game where you truly get that magic, that feeling that we had all growing up playing all the different classic games. Not just PES games either, also FIFA games. But along the way, both companies just totally lost their way. And the difference is PES, now eFootball, actually was able to catch the essence of the beautiful game, whereas FIFA and EA Sports, they never were able to. It was always the arcade football game over there. And it's still the case. The only difference is EA Sports has went with more manual control and catered more towards their competitive players. Only problem is it's just they don't have that essence. They don't have that magic in their game. Whereas Konami has catered towards the lower skill players, put so much AI control, so much nonsense into the game. It's just at the core, they still have that excellent pace of play, weight of the passes, animations. The way they do their legends is second to none, whereas EA Sports misses the mark all the time. So you have to take all these amazing things and just keep putting in the work like Phil has done. And then eventually enough players will see that that's what winners do. That's the better way to play. That's the more fulfilling way, the more fun way, more satisfying, whatever way you want to describe it. It's just the way you should go. The rat route, right? The shortcut, loser, lazy route, it gets you nowhere. None of those players get that satisfying feeling because they're not accomplishing anything. So, as you see the skill in not just this game, but you could watch any game Phil plays, win or lose, he is earning his own results. He's playing beautiful football along the way. And there's no way that any true footballer would watch how Phil plays versus this opponent and choose the route of the opponent. Because truthfully, in this game, he didn't play as ratty. He knew it was being recorded. This was like the third or fourth game we had played this player, and he just didn't have that lag or delay advantage that he typically has. He is a top 17,000 Division 1 Smart Assist user that always plays the same. He has a reputation. Never plays with skill. So magically, when he gets put on the spot and there's no connection issues, you see what happens. And it just goes to show taking shortcuts gets you nowhere. I mean, he got absolutely destroyed when it was a one-on-one fair game. both players being forced to play skilled football. We will end it on that beautiful goal. Don't be a rat. Be like Phil. Tremendous job, Phil. Keep it up.